I tried another mock-up. I tried making this one taller. I tried sketching on the face. Really didn't like how that looked. I tried sketching out some pieces and seeing if those look better, and I'm really not happy with that. Something about making this taller just completely changed the proportions, and it's not cute anymore. I'm probably going to go with the one that I call the baby Nall, and I'm going to seam rip this apart, and we'll see about redoing the embroidery files using this shape. Once I seam ripped all the darts and edges, this is what the finished product looks like. That's not at all how I would have expected the eyes to go, but that's one benefit to building the plush, then sketching on the faces. I never would have thought they'd be at such a sharp angle, and the mouth looks kind of weird. It's kind of like rainbow shaped at the top. That's just because that's how the design works when it's sewn together with the darts. On the back, you can see where the darts were. I'd drawn them out with Sharpie, and this is my stitching line for the face. So now we need to redigitize the embroidery and see if we can get a Nall that's this kind of quality, but with this style of face. So this is the latest version of the Nall face. This is the same poof and ears and back of the head as before, but this is new embroidery outline based on the sketch that I did on the piece that I had done previously. And if we put that up here, I feel like that's looking like Nall. He has the right personality. The little nose piece from the Choly Night Pikachu pattern really gives him the right shaping in his face, as opposed to my original one where he's just much more generic cat. This really is starting to look like Nall. And I think once I have that finished up and I make some little wings for him, I think he'll really look a lot like the character. Here is another lesson learned working on Nall and working with long pile fur. This is the pattern that I made for his head floof. I did this out of Minky and it looked really nice. I thought I had exactly what I needed to get started out of the real fabric. But then I made it and it made this thing. It looks like a tribble. I can't even tell for sure which way is up. A lot of the fur got caught in seams, and even picking it out, it just doesn't look right. So, piece of advice, if you're using really long pile fur, it's not going to share any details from your original pieces. You can sort of get a basic shape, but don't worry about cutting out all these tiny little points and details because your effort will be wasted. You won't see what you're looking for because the big pieces of fur kind of eat it up. So I'm gonna have to come up with a different plan now for the head floof. There it is, the finished embroidery with the new face for Nall. He's still in the hoop, and we still have the water-soluble topping on top. I'll need to pull that off. The purpose of that is to push down the minky fibers so that the little bits of fur don't come through the embroidery. But I'm so happy with this. It looks so much better, and it looks so much more like Nall. It's still a little bit funky because of the weird angle on the eyes, but once this dart is sewn up, he'll be adorable and exactly what I was hoping for.